On the next all-new episode of My Hero Academia.
One for all. The seventh user's quirk.
I know this power. It's Shimura's.
If Shigaraki touches the ground, he could cause another wave of mass destruction. I'll put a stop to you up here in the air. Using every ability I've got in my arsenal!
My Hero Academia. Next Saturday at midnight. Only Toonami on Adult Swim. The Golden Village is under attack, and the barrier has been breached.
Rico, I'm gonna need help.
If the beasts don't get them, the curse surely will.
Something more frightening than unfulfilled dreams awaits beyond the gold.
Don't miss the shocking one-hour season finale of Made in Abyss. Next Saturday from 12:30 to 1:30 a.m.
This is no time to hold back!
Only Toonami on Adult Swim.
Hi, everybody. This is Vic Mignogna, voice actor for shows like Fullmetal Alchemist, Bleach, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, or on High School, and you're listening to the Toonami Faithful Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Toonami Faithful Podcast. I'm your host, Jose Argumedo, and with me tonight is...
the founder and CEO of ToonamiFaithful.com, Paul Pescrillo.
And...
Darrell Maddox, the head samurai in charge.
And that's it for tonight. It's the good old threesome.
Yay.
Yay. Menage a trois.
And we have some stuff to get into before we get into the news, as we always do. And, of course, we have a very big episode. We've got a... very special guest. He'll be here in a minute. And I guess we'll just get right into it.
Yes. So for those of you that haven't been keeping an eye on our Twitter, shame on you. We have this thing called, what is it called, guys? Geeky?
Yeah, Geeky Inc.
We started a new company to distribute all of our content because as a person at Cartoon Network / Adult Swim told us, and I'm not going to name any names, we should, if we're going to distribute our own content, we should do it in a way that does not conflict with Toonami. So because we have so many plans and so many things that we want to do, including actually giving Darrell a show, I think I may be wrong about this, but
we haven't decided yet.
That's that, you know
well,
what?
I don't know if we have the budget.
I'm sorry, but you know what? That's that shit I just don't like.
Oh. Anyways.
Oh, catchphrase.
Perhaps title? Never mind.
Perhaps title, yeah.
So yeah, the name of the company is Geeky Inc. Basically, we will be putting out different reviews of anime, of movies, of games, etc.
And of course, go ahead.
We'll also be distributing our nudecore music off of that from now on. We did the first CD off of ToonamiFaithful.com, obviously, because we didn't have something at that point, and so that'll still be that'll still come off of ToonamiFaithful.com. But for the rest of any other albums that we do from now on, they'll be off of
Geeky.
Geeky, of course.
And that's spelled GEEK-E. Get it?
Yes.
Geeky. As in you're a geeky person.
Yes, Jose, you came up with the name. I know.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about this because it opens up a lot of possibilities for us. Because we're all Toonami fans. We're not getting rid of the site or anything like that. That's not happening.
And the podcast is not going anywhere.
No, the podcast is not going anywhere. It is changing. It is changing, but that's for next week.
Hey. Shh. It's okay.
It's okay. It's all right.
It's all right.
Big homie got to answer the Thundercats.
Oh God.
But the reason we came up with Geeky is because we love all types of content, and we want to cover it all. I know Daniel wants to do stuff with video games. I love doing stuff with movies. I love to talk about stuff that is not anime, believe it or not. And just and to finally have an outlet for it, and because we have an audience, which is you, the Toonami faithful, we thought, hopefully you'll follow us on this endeavor as well. And I'm really excited to launch this. We're doing this in partnership with already some big names in anime. I want to say Viz and Funimation. They are already collaborating with us.
What are you talking about? I don't know anything about that.
Oh, come on. They already know. You guys already know. They're already collaborating with us, so we're really looking forward to collaborating with them in the future and bringing out stuff for you guys that you will hopefully enjoy.
Yes.
We just felt that it was time to spread our wings and fly. We're not, like we said, we're not getting rid of Toonami. We're just trying to do some other things on our own now.
Sorry, we have to thank you guys. We have to thank you guys personally, all the fans, because without you guys, we couldn't do this. The fact that you guys do have an interest in us doing other things, kind of what was a little test for us was Flick the Switch, the little podcast I did with a friend of mine. And the fact that you all did listen to that, we thought, well, all right, maybe we can just do this as a thing and build something out of it that's substantial. And we really do have to thank all of you, the Toonami faithful, for sticking with us.
Yes, we do. And
thank you.
Some of these reviews will show up on ToonamiFaithful.com, believe it or not. Just because, we're doing something different doesn't mean that if we do a review for, say, Inuyasha or some other anime out there that's on Toonami, it's obviously going to show up on our websites. So.
Yeah, you're welcome, Paul.
Okay. Anyways. That'll be coming. Those things will be coming very soon.
We're still getting paperwork and stuff.
Paperwork stuff. To see a preview of what we're working on, we actually have some things built already. We don't have a website yet, but if you want to go to it's coming. If you want to go to our Twitter page, it's twitter.com/geekyinc, GEEKEINC. We already posted one video from our YouTube channel. And also on Facebook, it's the same thing on Facebook. If you want to join us there, it's facebook.com/GEEKEINC. Darrell liked it today. Thank you, Darrell.
You're welcome.
Also, who made that video? Because it wasn't me.
That would be Christian McCord.
Hey, Christian. Thanks for helping us out, man, because you're awesome.
And by the way, I don't want to say his name on the air, but this kid, well, first of all, he's a kid still. And second of all, damn, for his age, I am very surprised that he can put out a video like this. God, you kids and your technology today.
We've said Christian McCord's name on the air before. Just pointing that out.
I know we have, but I'm just saying, nobody knows his age, and I'm not going to say his age unless he wants to. Hint,
you can follow him
Christian,
on Twitter.
Come on the podcast.
You can follow him on Twitter.
Yes, you can.
Yep. So
yeah, you can follow all us on Twitter.
I feel like he's kind of a public person.
I kind of feel like he's already part of the family.
Yeah, he has helped us out on those sites in many ways, just by being a loyal supporter. And
Jose won't do any videos for me.
I'm sorry, I'm busy.
It's okay, boy. I'm gonna go ahead and choke you out a little bit.
It's all right. It's okay. Ow, God damn it.
You know what? You know what, Darrell? That's that I don't like.
Yeah,
hey, you can't do that, man. That's copyrighted.
Hey,
yeah, I copyrighted it, and then he can have it back.
You know what?
Anyways,
yes.
The next thing you've literally written here is a big announcement for next week. So, yeah, it's a big announcement regarding the podcast next week.
Yes, sweet. big announcement for next week. The podcast is going to become huger, so to speak. If I could find the sound bite from the guy that does the car ads here in Rochester, it's going to be huge.
That's what she said.
So,
if I may tease,
yes.
It's Toonami related.
Woohoo!
In an unofficial capacity.
And while we're on that subject, by the way, speaking of us, thank you to Toonami for giving us a plug. I nearly died when I saw that they put that on their Tumblr.
Thank you guys. We really do appreciate it.
Oh my God.
I know you all work at Toonami for free, but we also really work really hard on this podcast and on the site. And to see the actual people who work on Toonami give us some kind of recognition, it's the greatest feeling in the world.
Yes, it is. And thank you again to Jason and all the people that work on Toonami.
Jason, Gil, Kim, all you guys. You guys rock.
Yes. And I think I saw a bump last night about Kim's out injured, so we hope she's okay and everything.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, there was. I think it might be. I don't know if it's legit making fun of her or whatever, but if you really are injured, yeah, we hope you come back.
Speedy recovery.
Get well soon.
But getting back to the big announcement, basically tune in next week. The only reason we didn't do it this week is because Vic's on, and we want you to listen to that interview. So, but next week, it's going to be huge. Trust me. You guys are going to like it. It's definitely going to, at least in my opinion, it's definitely going to make this podcast more, what we want it to be. It's going to be a lot bigger. It's going to give us a bigger audience. And I think by doing some of the things that we're going to be doing, it's going to just...
frankly, I think this is a turning point for the podcast. So
it is.
It really is. Yeah. The podcast will not be the same after this. No,
it won't be. And I just think it's going to get bigger from here.
We've overhyped this. It's probably not even that big of a deal. We're like overhyping this. It's like it's something stupid. Wait for it. We're going to get a bunch of people coming back to us like, that's not really that big of a deal.
Or they'll be like, why did you do this? Sorry.
It's because we love you.
Yeah.
And we love to mistreat you sometimes.
Yep.
So look forward to that next week. But one more time, thank you to Toonami for plugging us on the Tumblr. I don't have it up right now, but while Jose gets into the next announcement we have, I'll look it up and then I'll talk about it before we get into the news.
Okay. This is a public service announcement. The November 30th deadline for all Bandai products has passed. Bandai has sent out all their final shipments. This is it, guys. If you want something from Bandai, go buy it. That means everything Gundam, everything Cowboy Bebop, everything Outlaw Star, go buy it. It's not available anymore. I'm telling you right now, Gundam Wing is not on Right Stuff anymore. Maybe they might be getting one more shipment. It might be late for the holidays, but I really don't think Gundam Wing is going to be available at Right Stuff anymore after this year. I think there's already Gundam Seed. The prices, as Darrell has pointed out to me, on Amazon have skyrocketed. It's just, if you want something from Bandai, go get it. I just ordered a bunch of stuff from Right Stuff. I just won something on eBay, before prices skyrocketed on it. I got Gundam 0083. I'm just missing Zeta, and I've got everything I want from Gundam. Can you say the same?
Yes, I can.
You better make sure you can, because if you regret it at all, there's a good chance we may not see these shows again. If there's something you want, go get it. Do not hesitate. I'm serious, guys. Don't hesitate. If you want it, go get it.
Because it's not coming back.
Well, maybe.
We'll see.
We'll see. I mean, speaking about Gundam real quick, Gundam's a huge franchise. I know that. But I feel like nobody is really going to go for it. I really don't think Funimation, I don't think Sentai, I don't think Viz, I don't think anybody, I hope I'm wrong, I really do. I don't think anybody's going to go for it. Because even though it's a really popular franchise, other than Wing, not too many of them sell very well. Wing has always just been that seller for Bandai. That Gundam seller for Bandai. And all their other shows, they do okay. But they don't do Gundam Wing numbers.
I guess you could say the other one's kind of more like a little bit on the fan service side, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, they just don't perform, and people are going to look at those numbers and just be like, "Yep, they're not performing." Funimation's going to be like, because the other thing about Bandai, the reason they could do Gundam so well over here is, one, they were getting it directly from Bandai Visual, and two, they have Bandai of America putting out the toys and the model kits. Not anymore, but they had it. They did do that at the time. And the thing with Gundam, it's really hard to do the DVD releases and not have the model and kit and toy line here in the States. And Bandai was willing and able to do it. With Bandai out and, the toys still going, if they can't tie into the DVDs, if they can't work out some kind of deal, that's going to be difficult for any distributor. So, yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens.
So, specifically Gundam, I would say pick it up if you want it. And, yeah, just anything Bandai, really. Obviously, something that's been printed very largely is something like Cowboy Bebop or Outlaw Star. I think I give those a year. But just to be safe, don't wait. Get it.
Right.
Don't worry, I'm going to just steal yours.
Well, I do have... If you're going to steal any copy of my Cowboy Bebop, steal the remixes. Don't steal my other copy. That one's special.
I want to steal whatever's most precious to you. No, I'm just joking.
You bastard! Don't steal my don't steal my limited edition Cowboy Bebop box set, of which they only made 10,000 or some weird number of. That's been signed by Melissa Fawn and Wendy Lee. Dude,
right,
don't steal that.
Let me write that down so I can steal that first.
Don't steal that.
All right, so basically, guys.
By the way, I really do have that box, in case you were wondering.
Make sure you guys go out and buy as much Bandai stuff as you can.
Get your now.
Yep.
Because apparently the prices are going up really quickly, so you need to do it now if you're going to do it.
The question I've gotten a lot is Ghost in Shell. That's under manga. Yes, Bandai was was a collaborator. They were a co-producer on it. So is manga. So manga still has the rights to that. My understanding of Gurren Lagann, Bandai has lost the rights. So manga can no longer handle the distribution for it, so that might not be safe anymore. So yeah, Ghost in Shell is safe. Gurren Lagann is not. Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to clear up any questions people might have. If there are any questions, send me a tweet. I will do my best to give you an answer.
Yeah, Jose normally knows.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This has gone on long enough. I'm so sorry, everybody.
I was holding back. I was so holding back on that. But anyways, so before we get into the news, I'll read exactly what they said on their Tumblr. The question that was asked was, do you guys listen to any podcasts? If so, which ones? Would you, in parentheses, Toonami or Adult Swim, consider producing one in the future? And this is how they answered. Currently, we don't have the time to produce a podcast with any degree of regularity. We listen to the Toonami Faithful podcast sometimes, though. Check it out. And that's when I died on the floor.
Yep.
Damn, I wish you would have stayed that way.
Anyways.
The ratings would have gone up.
You wouldn't have a job anyways, unless you want to go. Never mind.
Yeah.
So let's get into the news before I say something I don't want to say.
Yeah.
So from Facebook and Twitter, here is Toonami News.
And
let's talk about the ratings.
Yeah, this week's ratings. Panic! Panic! Panic!
That was hilarious on Twitter. Literally, like, everybody was asking me, why is Jose freaking out? I'm like, I don't know. Don't ask me. Okay, just go ask him. And then every time somebody asked you, you kept going on with
panic button.
Panic! Panic button.
Seriously, I thought he was tripping out on acid for real.
I might be. He
was actually drinking bleach.
I was drinking bleach.
No, man. You know what? I ain't going to say.
Anyway, should we get into the reason why I'm panicking?
Why are you panicking?
Well, let me read the ratings. Bleach, 1,077,000.
Well, that was good.
Yeah, that's great, right? Tenchi Muyo GPX, 669,000. Samurai 7, 565,000. Thundercats, 675,000.
Yeah, that's right. My show went back up.
Symbionic Titan, 616,000. Eureka 7, 471,000. Fullmetal Alchemist, 424,000. Fullmetal Alchemist, 375,000. Bebop, 459,000. Bebop, 439,000. Inuyasha 462,000. Inuyasha 509,000.
By the way, I can't believe that a lot of people actually get up and watch Inuyasha at that time. That just boggles my mind.
Hey, I watched Inuyasha at that time.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, like it really. That's why they put it there, because it does so well there. I really want it earlier, but if it's doing the ratings there, I can't bitch about it.
Also, it's reruns, so it needs to stay at a later time slot.
Yeah, it does, because it definitely is helping at the end of Toonami. So
yeah, should we address the elephant in the room?
What would the elephant in the room be?
Hold on, wait a minute. You talking about Alabama? Because that's the only elephant I know. Big Al. Roll Tide.
You mean the 400? You mean the 400 people
the 400,000 drop on Tenchi Muyo GXP?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's that I don't like.
God, here we go.
I may have actually called it a couple of weeks back when I said this was ratings poison. I may have called it.
Well, I can't say that it's rating poison anymore, because now we have Naruto, so that's why I wasn't really freaking out as much as you were, unless you were just being...
I was kind of being dickish.
I know you were
I'm always being dick, but...
sometimes I can't. Sometimes I'm like, is he being a dick? Is he drunk? I don't know.
No, most of the time he's just being a drunk dick.
Oh, okay.
But my God, no, for real though, the Tenchi Muyo GXP, that's abysmal. And I know a lot of people are... I read the comments. A lot of people are like, oh, there's not that bad, It was the holiday. It was, a lot of people don't have DVR. I'm sorry. This is Saturday night on Thanksgiving weekend. I don't think...
here's
I don't think you can blame the holiday on this one. The holiday's on Thursday. The sales are on Friday. You're home Saturday.
Well, no,
actually Saturday was the Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
I know there was the Iron Bowl, but I'm still kind of like, we've gone up against sporting events before. This isn't a sporting event. This isn't a sporting event to cause these bad ratings, because Bleach performed at 1 million.
Well, first of all, I'll give the ratings. I'll give the ratings a pass this week, because, like I said, because A, it was the holiday, and B, there was some big college games out there. Because you have to remember, there are big college games on this weekend. They even have games on Friday, which is normally not the norm.
No, and I get that, and I know, but we've always held.
I will give it a pass, and plus, I mean, it wasn't that much of a big deal to me, because Naruto came on the next week. But
I'm hesitant to give it a pass simply because we've gone up against sporting events before. We've gone up against the Olympics and performed better.
We've seen holidays, like a holiday where Toonami's been on, and it's done this before. But if you let me finish here, if you saw last week's ratings, and I would have to pull those up, but if you saw the ratings last week, and this goes to your point, Jose, from Bleach to GXP, there's been a 400 viewer drop. Like 400 viewers say, "All right, I've watched Bleach, everything else," and they've left. Now, some of those viewers have come back. They've watched Thundercats and Symbionic Titan. Thank you guys for doing that. Because we definitely want to see those shows get new seasons. But we're seeing it. We're starting to see a pattern, and that goes to your argument here, Jose, that it is ratings poison. Because right when GXP comes on, 400,000 viewers. Let me say it that way, because that's 400 viewers is not what I mean. 400,000 viewers drop off immediately when that comes on. And yeah.
And before people are going, Jose, you're one of those people. I'm not.
No, all of us Toonami faithful, no matter if we like the show or not,
we watch
it.
Yes, we do.
Some of us may drop off at like 3 or 3:30 for obvious reasons.
But then we watch our recordings.
We have jobs, and all we do is try to entertain you people.
Either way, we watch the recordings anyway, so they still count. Right. But this is
exactly.
I'm really I'm not super afraid for Toonami, because Toonami's just not going anywhere. I feel like that's been confirmed by everybody at Adult Swim. They're all happy with what Toonami's been doing.
And they wouldn't have gotten Naruto if they were.
They wouldn't have gotten Naruto, no. But man, GXP is scaring me. And you know what? It's a real shame because it's killing Samurai 7. It's killing Samurai 7's ratings.
It is. And
as much as I love GXP, maybe it's better if they just drop it down on the time slot and move Samurai 7 back.
Move it to Eureka 7's time slot.
Well, I mean, for me, it's like Samurai 7 has been getting a lot better since it's been going into its later episodes. But the thing is they've said it on the Twitter. If there's something that's not working out, they'll drop it. So, I mean, let's go like maybe 2 more episodes. But if you still continue to see that 400 viewer drop, either move Thundercats up or move Samurai 7 up and get the ratings to stay where it is, because people, you know, they don't want to see this show for some odd reason. I try to tell people, dude, you're faithful. You should be watching these shows because we want to keep Toonami on the air. And a lot of you agree with me, but then there are some people out there that are like, screw you, Paul. I'm not going to watch this. I'm going to.
Hey, man, I don't like GXP, but man, that's. We can't force people to watch.
You really made it quite clear how you want the characters to commit mass suicide or be killed.
Oh, dude. I watched this last week's episode. I was just like banging my head on a table.
I mean, I hate to go off on a tangent here, but Darrell, I mean, you saw the other day, people are hitting up on me saying, well, you know, why are you being that way, Paul? I'm a Toonami faithful. And I'm like, well, first of all, I'm not the only one that said that you should be watching every show. Darrell said it. Jose said it. So why are you hating on me, first of all? And second of all,
because you got the Toonami news account.
Exactly.
It's fun having 1,000 followers now, isn't it?
By the way, for the record, I'm not Toonami. I need to make that record clear again, because some of you, again, have been thinking, maybe it's the new followers. Hi, new followers. I'm not Toonami. You know, I'm just saying to you, if you're not a Toonami faithful, you're not a Toonami faithful because you're not watching every single show. I can understand you don't like these shows. That's fine. But just leave it on and go into a different room and watch a different show. That's what we do. Yeah. Or if we don't want to watch the show, we'll record it and watch something else. And then, you know,
well, I usually watch it later. Yeah, I usually watch it. I make sure to always watch my recordings. Except when I was in Japan. Sorry, guys, couldn't do it.
I mean, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that we have to do it this way, guys, because some of you, I understand, A, can't stay up. B, you want an earlier time slot, and I'll talk about something with that a little bit later. But, and some of you also, you know, you don't like these shows. That's fine. I get it. But this is the Toonami we have, and the more that you watch, the better it's going to get. So for those of you that want, for example, you want Sarah back, you want the Clydes back, you want better bumps, you want an earlier time slot. I've all of a sudden heard this movement of people that's getting huger and huger and huger by the week of you guys wanting an earlier time slot. Personally, I just want an hour more and that's it. But
I'm just going to go ahead and say that time slot is probably not going to come.
Well, no. But for example, I put up a poll on our Facebook page, facebook.com/bringitbacktoonami. 100, and I believe it was 107 of you, if I remember correctly, want a 9 p.m. to 6 a.m.
You guys were a bunch of greedy bastards.
Yeah, you're a bunch of greedy bastards, but I mean, obviously, if that happened, I would be ecstatic.
Oh, I'd be ecstatic too, but let's be realistic here. It's not going to happen.
Well, let me finish, okay? Personally, if we're even going to have a chance of more Toonami shows, because here's what I have to say about that first. 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. It's probably not going to happen because of Family Guy. I can tell you that right now, because Family Guy does a lot of ratings. And personally, I would love to have Family Guy on and then it transition into an 11 p.m. slot, because, again, it's all about ratings, guys. That has huge ratings. Okay? So the transition from Family Guy and the huge ratings that it has to Toonami is a good thing. So, you know, I would rather have that. But for me, expanding the block, I want to expand it so we can help anime too. That's what we're all here doing. We're trying to help anime. We started a new company to do content to review anime and games to help, these companies out so that they can get, more awareness so that people can actually, they do better with these animes. That's what we're trying to do. So, and I know we've gone off on a huge...
I know, we sort of lost the point. Tenchi Muyo GXP being ratings poison.
But
kind of lost it.
What I'm trying to say to you guys is, yes, Tenchi, for some of you that have already seen it, you don't like it, you're not going to watch it. If you're one of those 400,000 viewers that drops off and normally watches Toonami religiously every single weekend, I would encourage you guys to continue to watch. If you don't like it, email Adult Swim, email the Tumblr. Hey guys, I don't like this show. Get it off the air or move it to a later time slot. They'll listen, and if they still have to play it, they'll just move it to a later time slot, and we'll get one of the other shows in a higher time slot. That's always a possibility. But you guys have to. The reason I want you guys to watch every single show or as many shows as you can is so that we get the ratings, because that's what it is now. It's not like the Toonami of before, where IG had a huge budget and they didn't have to worry about one thing. This is a Toonami that doesn't have really any budget. Is it slowly increasing? Yes. I mean, look, you had a review from, Halo, Microsoft. You had a review for Wreck-It Ralph, the Disney movie. Fix It Felix Jr., right? That was the video game?
Yep.
Okay. So, I mean, you guys get my point. We're getting more money. We're getting more money the legal way. We can't donate, remember. We're getting more money for the budget. They're able to get more shows like Naruto. Naruto's going to be there. It's going to help the ratings. That's why it's there. Okay? And to help Jose out, hell, we may even see One Piece at some point. You never know.
Put on a show I like for once. That being said, I love Symbiotic Titan.
The point I'm trying to make is watch Tenchi. If you don't want to watch Tenchi, leave your TV on and go watch something else on a different TV. Okay, guys? Every little bit helps. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, look, Tenchi just is not great. I'm guessing if the ratings come back and we see another big drop from Tenchi, especially after Naruto, we're going to see a time change. There's no way they can keep this up because it's killing what Samurai 7 was doing. Samurai 7 was doing great. It was doing 900,000, and it's dropped considerably.
Yeah, I definitely think that Naruto is going to be the test for GXP. Yep. And if it drops substantially after Naruto...
I give it 2 more weeks.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I give it 2 more episodes, maybe 3, and if it doesn't do well, it's probably going to get moved back. Even though they've said on their Tumblr that they want to keep this schedule until Samurai 7 leaves. Yep. So, we'll see what happens. And like I said, if you guys really don't want that in that time slot, just email them at Adult Swim or go to the Tumblr, toonami.tumblr.com, and just tell them, guys, I don't want this at 1 o'clock. Can you put this at a later time slot?
And be polite.
Yes, please be polite too, okay? So.
Like, don't go over there and be like, hey, this show move it. It's cool when we say it on the podcast because you listen and we get ratings. But when you actually do it to the Twitter or the Tumblr, you sound like a douche.
And by the way, what we were talking about the poll, if you guys want to vote in that poll, I'm going to have it up for the rest of December. It's facebook.com/bringitbacktoonami. I want to hear from you guys what kind of time slot you want to see. For those of you that haven't voted and think that 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. is ridiculous and you want to vote for one of the other choices, please come and vote because, I kind of don't think that's what most of you think either. So,
so we should get trending.
Yes, let's get to trending because I know Jose wants to go to bed.
Yes, I have early day tomorrow.
Yes. So trending. The shows that trended were, speaking of Tenchi Muyo GXP, Thundercats, Symbiotic Titan, Eureka 7, Samurai 7, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and Cowboy Bebop. Toonami also trended. It trended worldwide and in the U.S., but Bleach did not trend, and Inuyasha did not trend. So, but thank you to you guys, as usual, that are on Twitter helping us. It's very good. It's just, in my opinion, it's just as good as helping the ratings by watching.
I wouldn't say just as good.
Well,
it's not true. Jason's come on the show and said that.
But it does help.
It does help. Yes, it doesn't hurt.
Said that.
Never hurt.
And I actually did Twitter sober this weekend.
I did not join you guys. Sorry.
I was very surprised by that.
Well, the thing is, I had a 6 a.m. call time the next day. I'm just like, I'm not. If I stay up.
No. I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about Darrell.
Oh, okay. That is surprising, actually. You being sober during Toonami. That's weird.
We're gonna have to talk about that later. Actually.
I don't like it.
Anyways,
DJ Clark Nova.
Yes. We had some news today. We had two pieces of news, so we thought we would throw it into the podcast since they came up today. And yeah, so DJ Clark Nova is back, who is AKA Jason DeMarco. Jose, if you want to take this, since you pretty much commented to him on Twitter and the Tumblr and every other thing.
Jason released 15 quote-unquote lost tracks that I guess he was making way back when. And he actually promised he would give us the Black Hole Megamix 2 during Christmas time, and we're pretty close. So I guess this is his release of that. The tracks don't have any names, and I don't think they're even ID tagged correctly. So you can come up with your own cool names for them. And they're pretty dope tracks. Like, again, Jason is just kind of awesome when it comes to DJing, and good at creating good beats. And they're probably going to stay in my car for a little while because I love beats. I love me some beats.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You guys tell me to say and then you go and piss me off.
Yeah, we love pissing you off. Sometimes
it's a ritual.
So yeah, if you guys want to pick that up, if you go to the Tumblr page, there's actually an announcement about it. Just scroll down to the announcement. You can link to it and actually download it. So, and it's for free. Just in case anybody thought you had to pay for it, it's free.
Yep.
So
I think he's trying to steal our Nerdcore thunder. I'm kidding.
I don't think so. But anyways, the last piece of news, which also happened today, was some of you noticed that Symbionic Titan was out of order. A lot of you had actually asked the Tumblr. It says this episode on the schedule, but that's not what's next. Are you guys going to actually play it? They said no, it's not going to happen. Don't worry. Blah blah blah.
I actually want to bring up their actual comment. Hold on.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, I'll just explain it though while we're doing.
No, because the explanation is bat crazy.
I know it is, and that's funny. So basically, what happened was last night, the episode that was on the schedule, which again, the schedule is not always right apparently, was right, and
which never happens.
Right, which. And by the way, the schedule that we reported for the news about Naruto coming was actually right, might I add. But
hooray!
Hooray! But basically, what happened was that Symbionic Titan did play the episode. I believe it was that was the season finale for season 1, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that.
Of
but
Symbionic?
Yeah, I think there was like a season finale.
Well, I think Symbionic only had one season.
I thought so too, but when I looked on it, when I seen that episode on YouTube, I thought I saw season finale, and I was like, it had a season finale?
Well,
didn't know there was even 2 seasons of it. But
don't watch the YouTube stream.
I guess I won't. But
anyways, well, apparently watching it on TV doesn't help the order.
No, it doesn't. But
so basically, here's the explanation from Toonami's mouths themselves. So, first of all, we're really sorry that the episodes ran out of order. The original air order didn't go in sequential episode number order. So what ran on Saturday night was episode 9, or as you know it, episode 11. So we're going to run episode 11 this weekend, Lessons in Love, which you might actually know as episode 9, or 10, depending on who you ask. Then we'll air episode 10, Trashy 497, which is 10 or 9, depending on who you trust. Then we'll probably skip to 11, Ni 9, since you've already seen it, and go straight to episode 14, which you will know as 12. Hopefully that clears up any possible confusion. Thanks, and keep watching.
Yeah, and then somebody actually asked.
Hold on, I will get that question up real quick.
But it was funny because
just saw your Titan announcement. You made it confusing on purpose, didn't you? And their words are, believe it or not, it is actually that confusing.
Side note, Bebop is back in order, might I add.
Yep, that was weird, but it's back in order.
So that shouldn't happen again. Don't yell at them, please.
Please don't.
I like Symbionic Titan, and I actually want another one. Actually, interesting enough about Symbionic Titan, I'll do this quick so Jose doesn't kill me. There was somebody had said on the Tumblr about, I don't know where it is on the Tumblr, Jose, so sorry if you're looking for it, but somebody had said something about the guy that directed it that's moved on.
Genndy Cherdobatsky.
Yes. Apparently he's written 10 episodes that are ready to go. So I don't know if that's true, but that might be something that we would want to look into. Yeah.
Well, it's not. The thing is, you guys have to remember, it's not Adult Swim that would be bringing the show back. It would have to be Cartoon Network.
No, I think they signed the rights over to Adult Swim to. Well, I know they signed.
They signed the episode rights, but production rights, I think, still lie with Cartoon Network. So I think Cartoon Network would actually have to be the ones to pull the trigger, which again I don't think would be so hard. It just, do they want to do it?
Well, I know Warner Brothers did Thundercats, so that would not be too hard to restart because Warner Brothers is Turner, aka Adult Swim, and the Cartoon Network.
Warner Brothers is not Turner. That's not correct. Warner Brothers is technically a separate entity. They are just sister companies under one big umbrella of Time Warner.
Well, excuse me. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I just want to make sure everybody knows.
Under the umbrella.
I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure we got our stuff right, so nobody attacks us when we.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But well, I do think that it would be easier, and it probably will actually happen that we'll get another season of Thundercats.
It probably would be easier because it doesn't have Cartoon Network Studios at the end.
Right.
It's Warner Brothers Animation, so Warner Brothers themselves could just say, "Okay, we'll do it."
Yeah, but couldn't Cartoon Network still do it and then just put it on Adult Swim?
I don't know. I feel like.
I mean, that's a good question to ask.
That's a good question to ask, but I feel like I don't know. I have a feeling Symbiotic Titan is a little more complicated than we thought it was.
Yeah,
but it is. I can't imagine it will cost them anything because it's still their show.
Well, it depends on what the contract is. I mean, we know from.
I don't think they're going to charge themselves money.
Well, no, we know from the interview with George that when he wrote that, he signed over all the rights to Megas XLR.
Right, but
so maybe that's the same deal that happened with the guy.
That's definitely not the same deal. Genndy made it with Cartoon Network. Like that is a Cartoon Network show.
Do you know that
it's not like Titmouse. Made the show.
Do you know that for a fact, though?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay. Well, we should definitely.
I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's a Cartoon Network show.
Because I know there's a huge interest in that. So.
Anyways,
yeah.
We spent a little while here. You guys don't even want to hear us talk anymore. I'm sure you're just like, when does Ed come on?
All right, so let's.
Is he gonna do his brawly voice?
He's gonna do his brawly voice.
No.
All right, well, let's just get into it. This is basically what you guys have been waiting for us to shut up and just give it to you. So here it is, the interview with Vic.
Hey everybody, we're back, and with us tonight we have a very special guest. Some of you may know him as Ed on Fullmetal Alchemist. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, my name is Vic Mignogna.
And welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you taking the time out.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you guys for having me.
And we've got a bunch of questions, so let's get into them.
Absolutely.
We always ask this one up at the top because everybody wants to know, how did you get started in this industry?
Well, you guys, quite by accident, to be honest with you. I had been acting since I was very young. I'd been doing a lot of, theater and different types of performance work since I was very, very young. But about 15 years ago, somebody, in fact, almost 20, I'm actually scared to admit, somebody encouraged me to audition for a company in town in Houston, Texas, where I was living at the time, that bought anime series and dubbed them into English, and they were looking for actors. So I went and auditioned, and I got cast, and I figured it was just kind of a one-time deal. Seemed like a lot of fun. And I did it and thought it was done, and then they called me back for another show, and then another show, and another show, and another show, and I started working regularly there at ADV in Houston, and then the next thing you know, I was invited to come up and record and play some roles for Funimation in Dallas. And so I spread out to Dallas, and then the next thing you know, I was playing roles in New York, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, that kind of stuff, and then ultimately started playing roles in Los Angeles as well. So I was very, very blessed and very fortunate to get in on the business when it was still very small, and that's how I got into it.
So you were mainly a ADV actor, I remember. And what was it?
Yeah.
What was it like getting that phone call from, I guess, Funimation or whoever contacted you to like, hey, we like you in this work. Come over to our side. You know.
Well, again, it was so early on, you guys, that I was like, oh, there's another studio in Dallas that does this stuff, and I was like, okay, sure, I'd love to come up. In fact, the first thing that I did was Broly in Dragon Ball Z. And after I did Broly, they asked me to come up and play characters in Yu Yu Hakusho, and then in Kitty Grade, and then in Case Closed, and then in Spiral, and then it ended up they ended up getting the license for Fullmetal Alchemist, and that was how I got involved in Fullmetal. And like I said, at the time, the business was very small. And I was just very, very fortunate to get in on the ground level when it was very small.
Now we'll come back to Fullmetal in a minute, but how do you prepare for a role, for any role really?
Well, most voice actors will tell you that we don't have a great deal of advance information about the show or the characters or the story. Especially if we're working on several shows at once. I may get a call from a studio here in LA, and they'll just say, we want to book you for 2 hours. We've cast you in this new role in this new show that we're doing. And I'll say, oh, okay, great. And I will literally walk in and they will brief me on the spot as to the character and the storyline and the basic kind of arc of everything, and then we'll just start recording. So we don't really get the chance to prepare much. You go in and you draw from several different sources. You draw from the director's information. You draw from the character design itself. You draw from the Japanese actor and his performance. You draw from, whatever different sources you can.
Now, another aspect that is unique to you and maybe a few others, you actually dub a lot of songs into English as well. You actually adapt them for English as an English performance. Now, how involved are you with dubbing the songs in English? Do you write the lyrics for them yourself, or do you simply adapt the translated script, or how does that happen?
Actually, I've been involved in several different levels of the adaptation of music. Sometimes a director will just call me and say, "I'd like you to do this song for this show." And I would like you to, here's the direct translation into English, but of course it has to be completely reworked and adapted in order to fit into the melody of the song. So sometimes they'll hire me to rewrite the lyric and sing the song. And sometimes they'll just rewrite me to hire the lyric, and sometimes they'll just hire me to sing the song. So anything's possible. But I'm really glad to have gotten involved in the music side of anime, because I'd been doing music for so long before I ever started voice acting in anime and video games, and the two never overlapped. And I always wondered why can't I get involved in the music side of anime? And for the most part, because a lot of the shows that I was working on, they didn't dub the songs in English. You can imagine, the Japanese companies who they sell CDs of music based on a particular anime series. They don't, they want to sell CDs. So a lot of them want to keep the original Japanese version of the songs so that they can, promote the Japanese versions of the music. It's only been in the last several years that Funimation in particular has gotten permission to start dubbing more songs into English. So I've done songs for One Piece, Dragon Ball Z Kai, Dragon Ball GT, Ouran High School, and D&' Angel. But
speaking of the songs, real briefly, how because there are some I've heard that they actually do dub the entire song. Do you just? But I haven't heard many from Funimation where they dub the entire song. They usually just dub whatever the TV size is. Do you actually dub the entire song, or is it just?
It depends. Like, for instance, I dubbed the entire song for Dragon Ball Z Kai, but then the opening of the song isn't long enough to use the entire song. So they literally cut it, they edited it to use it for broadcast. So most times I'll only dub the portion of the song that's used for the show. But occasionally I may dub the whole song. Like I did the entire song for the Brothers theme from Fullmetal Alchemist, and I did the entire song from Ouran High School, and I did the entire song for D&' Angel. But most of the One Piece songs, and some of the other songs, Dragon Ball Z Kai, Dragon Ball GT, I just dubbed what they needed for the show. And then, of course, unfortunately, fans will write me and they'll say, "Can we get a full version of this song?" And I'll be like, "I'm so sorry. That doesn't exist. I'm sorry."
Well, I think that actually might be changing, because I have picked up a couple of Japanese soundtracks, and sometimes the dub version of the song will show up on it. This is going back a few years now. Tenchi Muyo, Sharon Scott did, I think, the second dub theme, and she dubbed the whole song, and it's on the soundtrack for Tenchi Muyo. So, hopefully...
Oh, very well. And I must tell you that every production and every company is different.
Yeah.
Some companies do not want the songs dubbed, and then there are occasionally companies in different productions where they'll say, "Sure, you can have our permission to dub this song in English." Like Fullmetal, we actually recorded an English version of I think it's called Melissa.
Mm-hmm. By Pornography, yeah.
That original opening theme for Fullmetal, we actually wrote it and dubbed it in English, and then the Aniplex, the company that owned Fullmetal, said, "No, we don't want you to use the English songs. We want to use the Japanese." So each production is different, and each production company approaches that differently.
Hopefully they'll start changing their tune. I would like to see more English versions of the songs on the soundtrack, because I think it's just kind of cool to have them both.
Well, we'd love to do them. I mean, I think it's fun I really enjoy doing them, and it's really fun to translate them sometimes, because I don't know if you guys have ever seen a direct translation.
Oh, they're usually kind of off.
They're comical. Sometimes they just make no sense whatsoever. I mean, they're so esoteric, you know what I mean? They're just so out there that they don't make any sense. And you really, if you're going to adapt them into English, you really have to sit there and study this to try to, like, what are they trying to say here? What exactly are they trying to communicate here? And then you have to, of course, adapt it into English and make it fit the melody. So it's kind of tricky, actually.
Now, music is obviously a big deal to you. You've dubbed songs and as well as released your own. Do you find music to be a valuable tool for voice actors to have, or just...
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a great question. In fact, a lot of times in Q&A sessions at conventions, I've told fans that I found that some of the best voice actors I know are musicians. They sing or play an instrument, or they have a musical natural talent musically. And what I found is that there is a rhythm to voice acting. There is almost a musical rhythm and a sense of tempo to a lot of anime. And I found that the people that do it the best, the people that seem to really lock into voice acting and matching the cadence of a line, and they're very fast and efficient with laying down lines on the first take, they tend to all have music in common in their backgrounds. And I've been writing and producing music twice as long as I've been voice acting. And I've got 6 different music CDs of my own original material. I do live concerts at a lot of conventions. In fact, I'm getting ready to release a live concert video that was shot at Anime Matsuri this year. And so I really love being able to integrate music and voice acting.
Now, Edward Elric, it's time to speak about him. He's obviously a big role for you. Did you have any clue as to how big this character or this franchise would become when you were cast as Edward?
Well, to be honest with you, no. To be entirely honest, I didn't even know what Fullmetal was about. In fact, to be entirely honest, I thought that Fullmetal Alchemist might have something to do with Fullmetal Panic. Which of course,
I made that mistake too.
But I mean, I was in Fullmetal Panic, and when Funimation asked me to come up and audition for this new show called Fullmetal Alchemist, I said, "Is that like Fullmetal Panic?" And they're like, "No, no." And so I auditioned, and I got cast as Ed, and then there was a very long waiting period. There was a very long period of time after. Excuse me, after we had started, or after we'd gotten cast, before we started recording. There was a very long period of time before we started recording. And during that time, I started getting letters from fans of the kind that I had never gotten before. I had probably done 30 or 40 anime series by the time I did Fullmetal, and I was getting these emails from fans that were saying, "Hi, Vic, I'm familiar with your work, and I recently heard that you got cast to play Edward Elric in Fullmetal Alchemist. Don't screw it up."
That's encouraging.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh. I was literally getting emails from fans saying, "You better not screw up Fullmetal." Yeah, and that was the first time in all of the shows that I had ever done that I ever got an email like that that actually made it very apparent to me that Fullmetal had a very loyal and devoted fan base and was clearly not your average anime series. So I went into the recording of Fullmetal with a great deal of, respect and sensitivity for doing the best job that I could.
Well, definitely the series came out great. I think you were in very good hands with Mike McFarlane directing that one, who we've had on the show, and he talked very, very nicely about the entire cast and the whole experience of dubbing the 2 shows. Well,
yeah, he and Colleen directed the first the first series, and then of course he and Caitlin Glass a little bit, but mostly Mike directed the second series. And I mean, the best directors are people that hire good actors and then let the actors do their job. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to get the actors to mimic everything you want, to mimic you and just basically, basically copy exactly the way you want every line said. If you get good actors, they're going to bring a lot of their own talent and skill to the table, and it makes the director's job much easier.
And speaking of the second series, what was it like coming to Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood after, a 5-year gap? You hadn't played Edward in so long.
It was it was a bit scary at first, I have to say. The first series came out so great, and it just turned out so perfectly, and I was kind of scared because I was like, what if the second series isn't as good? I mean, what if the voice actors aren't as good? What if the script isn't as good? What if what if the animation isn't as good? What if the music isn't as good? What if just things just don't fall into place as well as they did the first time? So we were pretty scared actually about it, But very shortly after we got into it, it was pretty clear that it was a great series. It was another real well executed series, and everybody brought their best work to it, and Brotherhood turned out really good too. So,
is there a particular line from either one of the shows that you've been asked at conventions to say a lot?
Well, they're obviously people are always asking me to do short rants. They're always asking me to scream, about being short. And to be honest with you, I try to avoid the yelling and the screaming because it's not great on the voice. And all the talking that you do throughout a convention weekend makes it difficult on the voice anyway. But, Ed, this is my normal speaking voice. And Edward Elric is just a little bit higher, and he's got a little more rasp in his voice, like this. Me and my brother are searching for the Philosopher's Stone.
Yep, that's him.
That's him.
Yeah. That's the little pipsqueak.
Now, are there any roles, I have a feeling I know the answer to this one, but are there any roles that you found to be extremely exhausting, whether it be in the emotional sense or the physical sense?
Well, I've never found any exhausting in an emotional sense because I actually thrive on those kind of characters. I love characters that are emotionally wrenching and challenging, because that's as an actor, that's fun to play. So I've never had any really emotionally wrenching or challenging roles, but certainly there have been plenty of characters that I've played that were physically challenging because of all the yelling and fighting, or because the voice had a certain quality to it, and after doing it for an hour or so, your voice feels like it's been run over a cheese grater.
The one I'm thinking of is Broly. I'm not going to ask you to do it, but
yeah, I appreciate it because I would graciously decline anyway. I always talk about that when kids ask me, and it's the truth. I mean, you only have to hear Broly talk and yell and power up and go Super Saiyan one time to go, wow, that's gotta hurt. That cannot be pleasant for the voice. And then when you figure that you're doing it for a few hours, several hours to record a movie or a video game, I avoid doing Broly at any turn.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't dare ask you to do him here, but he just sounds so different. I'm just like, ooh, that's gotta hurt.
It's a very low chesty, it comes out of the chest, and very, very, very hard on the throat.
have you ever gotten used to it after playing him all these years in movies and video games, or it's always it's always hard?
Oh yeah, it's always hard. And I mean, my voice is typically a higher, younger sounding voice, and so you don't want to do characters like Broly too much, because it'll kind of ruin your higher range. There are voice actors that used to have higher voices until they started getting cast to play lower, deeper roles, and from talking like that so much, they actually lost some of their higher vocal range. So I definitely don't want that to happen.
And you mentioned this earlier, but you do seem to be all over the place these days. You've recorded shows in Texas, New York, LA. Does this constant amount of travel affect any of your roles, or do you that doesn't even cross your mind? You're prepared?
Well, to be honest with you, most people would probably agree that traveling is not conducive to staying healthy. It's hard when you're on airplanes all the time. It's very easy to get sick. It's very easy when you're on airplanes with the recirculated air and passengers coughing and sick all over the place. And then when you add on top of that, going to events where you're shaking 500 people's hands and hugging people, you know what I mean? And getting kissed and hugged on, those kind of things, it's very easy to get sick under those conditions. And, for the first half of my life, getting sick didn't bother me. But as soon as I started using my voice professionally, and as soon as I got myself into a position where I needed to have my voice in order to do my job, suddenly I became much more aware of how my voice suffered when I got sick, and I didn't sound the same, and I couldn't make my voice do the same things as I wanted it to do. I didn't have the control over it. I didn't have the range that I wanted. And, so traveling is problematic for getting sick, but and therefore affecting your voice. But I'll give you an example. I just got back from Japan. I got cast in a brand new form of anime called an e-manga. Very cool production that is basically a manga that you can download to a smart device and watch it on your iPhone or iPad or whatever, and it has voice recordings of the characters that play along in sync with the panels of the manga. And with the push of a button, you can instantly click from Japanese to English.
Oh.
Which is really cool. So I was cast to play a character in a brand new e-manga called Rainy Cocoa, and the director surprised me by flying me to Japan to record it. So I flew over to Japan, and they kept me very, very busy every day. The first day I was there, I was doing interviews, and the first evening I was there, I did a live concert for a whole bunch of Japanese anime fans. The next day, I recorded my character for Rainy Cocoa, and the next day I did more radio interviews, magazine interviews, and then I sang the theme song to another e-manga production called Magical Dreamers. So everything that I did there revolved around having my voice in good shape, and lo and behold, after flying 12 hours over there, I started getting sick. So I was doing everything possible to keep the cold or the flu or whatever it was from coming on full force until I could get through all of the stuff that I needed to record. And when I came back to LA from Tokyo, I got full on sick and spent the last few days in bed.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling somewhat better to join us. And I'm actually interested to hear more about this e-manga. Can you tell us a little more about it? Because I really haven't even heard of this.
Very cool idea. And I mean, what I can tell you is basically what I just told you, and that's pretty much what I know. You can look up the title Magical Dreamers. I don't think it's out yet, but it's going to be released soon. And then the next e-manga will be called Rainy Cocoa. And what they've done is the producers have created the manga and the artwork and everything in Japan, and then they've had it dubbed by Japanese actors, and then simultaneously have been using English actors to dub it into English.
Do you actually know who's putting this out? Is it? I'm guessing Viz might be putting this out in America, or do they not have an American distributor yet?
Not one of those. It's not one of those companies. The name of the company that is behind it is IAM, like I am.
Okay.
IAM.
Jose is writing all this down.
I am.
IAM. Ueno-san is the guy, is the kind of the mind exec producer behind it, and I met him at a convention in Hawaii, and he asked me if I would like to play a role in his upcoming e-manga, and I said, sure, that sounds like fun. And then I saw him at AWA again in Atlanta, and I said, so do you want me to book a studio in LA, or do you want me to come to Funimation in Dallas to record? What would you like me to do? And he basically said, I want to bring you to Tokyo.
That's got to be a huge honor. I mean, I don't know of any voice actors from America that have gone to Tokyo to record anything.
It was a great honor. And not only that, but while I was there, I came to find out that Ueno-san has several voice acting schools in Tokyo. He literally has Japanese seiyuu that are his teachers, instructors, and they teach courses to Japanese kids that are interested in learning to voice act. And when he brought me over, he set me up to lecture at a couple of his voice acting schools. So I got to actually talk and lecture on voice acting to several classrooms of adorable Japanese students.
That's cool. Did you is this your first time in Tokyo, or had you been before?
Actually, I was there before. I went there once about 4 years ago. I only went for fun. I didn't go for any specific purpose, but just to hang out with a friend of mine named Motsu, who is the lead singer in a band called Move, and I did a couple of conventions with him, and he invited me to come over and hang out. So I went over for a week about 4 years ago and hung out. But this was the second time I'd been back.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of funny you mentioned that. I just came back from there myself a couple of weeks back. I just came back myself from Japan a couple of weeks back, and it was pretty fun.
Yeah, I said, did you have a good time?
Oh, yes, it was amazing. I didn't want to come back. I was like, oh, too soon. Now, something that I find very important is networking. And how important would you rate networking in this industry? And I feel like that story explains how important networking is.
Extremely important. I would say that a very large percentage of the opportunities that have come my way have been because I, met somebody who was, like, for instance, I was working at ADV, and I was doing these shows at ADV, and I didn't even know there was any other anime world outside of ADV. And I went to a convention. I was invited to an anime convention that I didn't even know existed. And I went to the convention, and I met people from Funimation. And the Funimation people said, hey, Why don't you come up and do some work for us? And then at another convention, I met people from New York. And then at another convention, I met people from LA. So it was a very, very large portion of it, I would say, is networking. Meeting people, and getting new opportunities.
Now, I think the following questions are from fans. And actually, these two are from Darrell, right, Paul?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
I'll read them if you'd like.
Yeah, sure. You can go ahead and read them.
All right. His first question was, due to the fact you're busy with voice acting, how do you manage to keep from losing your voice? And has there ever been a time you lost your voice while working in the studio?
Well, it's a great question. The answer to the first part of the question is, how do I keep from losing my voice? Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I lose it. Sometimes I lose it from using it too much. But I would say that the best thing you can do to keep from losing it is to just know your limitations. When you're doing a character and the character is hard on your voice, know what your limitations are so that you can, so that you know when to stop, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Because if you push yourself too hard, then you lose your voice, and you're out of commission for a few days.
It's actually very funny you mentioned this question because I was just listening to the Macross commentary.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that Matt Greenfield calls you something. I'm not going to say it on the podcast, but he calls you something that you lose your voice a lot in the studio.
Well, you know what? I think my voice has become more resilient over the years.
Yeah, it's been a while since Macross.
Matt was a long time ago. That was back when I was still doing the first Fullmetal series. But, I don't think I lost it any more than anybody else. But Matt used to tease me about losing it. But I think over the years, from doing it as much as I've done it, I think I've gotten a little more resilient at it.
And now you can show him up because he doesn't even voice act anymore.
Oh yeah, Matt's not doing a great deal these days.
And the next question is also from Darrell. So, Paul, you going to take it, or?
Yeah, I got it. Okay. What was the worst experience you've had in your voice acting career? And to just keep it fair, what has been your crowning achievement as a voice actor?
So what has been my worst experience and my crowning achievement?
Correct.
Well, I would say without question, probably the biggest achievement for me in anime has been, playing Edward Elric in Fullmetal Alchemist and then, winning Best Actor back in 2000. When was that? 2007, 2008, for my role in Fullmetal. That was a pretty exciting and humbling, experience. As far as worst experience, I haven't had any really bad experiences. I would say probably the only downside. The only downside for me would be having started on certain shows, and then the studio that I was working for lost the show. Like I started playing the lead role in a couple of different anime series that I was very excited about and loved to death, and then the company that I was working for went out of business. And so we lost the opportunity to work on those shows. Other companies picked them up, and I didn't get, to play the role that I was playing. Those were some of the sadder experiences I've had.
All right.
Okay.
I think that'll bring us into fan questions. Our friend and yours, Mr. Duke Dumas, and I'm sure I pronounced that wrong because I do, asked, what is your... He's actually called me out on it. I always pronounce it wrong. What is your favorite anime that you've worked on?
Again, for the longest time, I tried my best to avoid that question and just be diplomatic and say, well, I love all the characters and all the shows I've played. But after finishing Brotherhood, I pretty much had to come to terms with the fact that, Fullmetal Alchemist is just such a brilliant show. And I would have to say that Fullmetal is the favorite thing that I've ever worked on. But then I will also say that a very, very, very close second place is Ouran High School Host Club.
And he also asked, which character that you've worked on can you relate to the most?
I'd like to think that I could relate to Tamaki in Ouran a little bit. I also think there was a character that I played many years ago in an anime series, ironically from Matt Greenfield, called Princess Nine.
Ooh, wow, this is going back.
Yeah, and the character that I played was named Hiroki Takasugi, and I loved that character, and I feel like I identified with him more closely than any role I've ever played.
Okay, we're gonna move on to. He didn't put his real name, so this is SL the FMA Elric. That's his email. He doesn't.
How original.
Nice, I like it.
Hey Vic, out of all the opening themes and ending themes in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, which one is your favorite? Also, which one would be the one you would like to sing yourself? I guess to dub in English.
Well, I always liked Melissa, the one that we talked about earlier. And then, of course, I'm kind of a sucker for Ready, Steady, Go as well. I'd love to record either one of those. In fact, I should. I just haven't had the time. I wrote myself a note one time about a year ago that basically it was a note to self, write an English translation to Ready, Steady, Go and record it. And I still should do it. I just haven't had the time. But as far as ending themes, there was an ending that was sung by a girl, and I don't remember the name of the ending. I don't remember the name of the song, but it's one of the more beautiful ending credit songs, and Caitlin Glass loves it and has sung it at conventions, and I've actually played it for her when she sung it, and I don't remember the name. It's the one that goes da 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 da.
Oh God! Oh, I know that one. It's the second ending. Hold on.
Right.
The internet. To the internet. We're gonna get this name.
The internet.
Okay, I do know which one it is. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but we can look it up real quick.
Yeah.
To Google.
Really
Second. That's the second one. Second Fullmetal Alchemist.
And we are recording, people.
I know. We'll edit all this stuff out. It is called. Hopefully, I can get an English title. It is called. Come on.
It's called Come On?
No, it's called. Oh crap.
Apparently, there's not an English title.
Apparently not. Oh come on, where are you? Second ending song. It is called. No, that's not it. It's the third ending song. Motherland. There we go.
Ah, okay.
It's called Motherland. There we go. Thank you, Internet.
Yay.
That didn't take me half an hour. Okay, back to the questions. Let's bring them back up here. Personally, my little favorite one is Rain, which is the 5th opening of Brotherhood.
Cool.
That's just
cool.
me. Frank Savoca, I hope I pronounced that right. His question for Vic is, what is your favorite moment from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and what line from the show do people ask you to say the most at conventions?
Well, the line that people ask me to say most, ironically, is a line that was never even in the series. And that is a line that I made the mistake of saying when I was young, when I was younger, about Colonel Mustang being dead sexy in a miniskirt. I said it as a joke, and then it turned out being like, that was like the most requested line. That's like, it gets so many requests, and it's not even in the show. But my favorite moment from Brotherhood, I have to say, was to be honest with you, was the last one. Was the very end of the last episode, as Ed and Winry are doing their thing, if you know what I mean.
Their weird way of hitting on each other finally.
Right. I loved that. I mean, I was like, when that happened, I was in tears.
And he also asked one more question. He'd like to add, what was it like singing the opening for Dragon Ball Z Kai?
Loved it.
There we go.
Loved it. I love that. In fact, I sing that thing all the time.
There's I forget how many people who have. I feel like Funimation was just like, hey, let's get everybody who can sing to sing this song. Was it like 4 guys who have dubbed that song into English?
Well, you know what's funny? There's a funny story behind that. Some of the people at Funimation asked me to sing that song. And unbeknownst to me, Chris Sabat wanted to record Sean Schimmel singing it because, he's Goku and what have you. So Sean did a version of it that Funimation didn't even know about. And then I did my version. And then, Chris Sabat turned in Sean's version to Funimation and basically said, what do you think? Like it? And Funimation started talking about it with the marketing people, and the marketing people said, hey, it might be really cool to have a version of the theme with Goku singing it. And so what they did was they used one for the broadcast, and then they used a different one for the DVD release. And then apparently the fact that they had 2 of us singing it, the next thing you know, they got it in their mind that it might be cool to have other people sing it. So then they started having other people do it.
Yeah, I think the total count of versions of that song is 4. Which I think the only thing that rivals it is "Fly Me to the Moon" from Neon Genesis Evangelion.
That's funny.
And okay, our last fan here has some couple questions. His name is Mike Russell. Thank God, an easy name to pronounce.
Yay!
Yay! Are you excited about being on the new Pokemon movie?
I am ecstatic. Pokemon is like iconic, right?
Oh, Pikachu, yeah. He's everywhere.
Pokemon is like the gateway drug for a lot of people when they were little kids into anime. And, Pokemon is like when I was first asked to be a part of Dragon Ball Z, I'm like, wow, how cool, how exciting. And it's funny that you should mention Pokemon because when I was in Japan last week, I was at a store, at a dollar store, or I should say 100 yen store. And what do you think I found in the candy aisle? I found a packet of candy with my sweet character, Keldeo, from Pokemon on the cover of the candy. And I bought it and grabbed it, and I was so excited. to see my Pokemon character on the front of this candy wrapper.
That's Twitter worthy. You just take a picture of that, put that up.
Yeah, bought it and took a picture of it and put it on my Facebook.
Nice.
Sweet.
And he has a bunch of questions. Let's so we're gonna go through these. Do you have a favorite Pokemon season, movie, or game?
No, I don't really follow it, as a fan because I don't really have the time to do that, quite honestly.
And something we didn't ask about, and we should have because we're Toonami faithful, but what is your opinion of Toonami's current state?
Well, I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what to make of it.
Is that good or bad?
Well, that's just it. I don't know.
And he asks, I bring this question up. Originally, I was going to ask it, but I know you're pretty big on anti-piracy. What do you think of Neo Toonami? And if you don't know what that is, I can go ahead and explain that.
I do not know, actually.
Neo Toonami is basically fake Toonami. What them and a couple of other people do is they create their own little bumps and teasers and stuff like that, but they also stream the actual show as if it was like a channel of Toonami. So they're streaming full episodes of anime online.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
This is a real thing. There's two of these.
I certainly hope somebody is shutting them down.
We know for sure that at one point back in the day, Cartoon Network had sent them a cease and desist letter, but apparently they didn't get that.
Not just Cartoon Network, Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers in its entirety sent them to cease and desist letters to multiple outlets. It's not just them. There's other websites that I won't name because I don't want to give them the traffic. But yeah. What do you think of them now that I've kind of explained it to you?
Well, I think that's bad news, man. I think that the people that do stuff like that are idiots because they don't even realize that they're actually hastening the destruction of the very thing that they love. I don't understand how people can't, reason this out and put it together.
Oh, it boggles my mind sometimes when we have so many options. Like, all right, Toonami's not for you. That's fine. We have this little thing called Crunchyroll and Hulu that give you the show exactly the same time it airs in Japan. I can't fathom piracy anymore. There's no excuse for it.
No. Well, the only excuse for it is people don't want to pay for anything. We are living in a society. We are living in a society of such entitlement where people think that they should just get everything for free. All these companies should just spend hundreds of thousands of dollars making something and just hand it over to them for free. Because they want to watch it and they want to watch it now. And what they don't understand is if they keep doing this little by little, as has already happened, these companies are going to go out of business because they can't afford to make anime if they can't sell it.
It's just it boggles my mind how disrespectful anime fans are sometimes. Like, because I see it at conventions and I see it everywhere. It's just anime fans are some of the sweetest, loving, most accepting people I've ever seen in fandom, but then they treat the people who create this stuff like crap by downloading stuff and buying bootlegs, and it's just like, oh, come on, guys.
Well, the problem is they don't think beyond their own nose. All they think is, woohoo, I saved $10.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to do that, go to Hulu.
And they think, hey, I'm not hurting anything by, $10. What? But they don't think beyond themselves. And they don't think that, well, you multiply the $10 I just saved by 100,000 other people, and that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
The one thing I will. Oh crap! I forgot my thought. This is why we have editing.
Yes.
Oh, if there's one, if you don't listen to us here on the podcast, listen to Vic. He works in the industry, and if you won't listen to him, listen to Miyazaki because Miyazaki has come out and said it too. If there's one person you'll listen to Miyazaki.
Dude, everybody in the industry says that because the industry cannot sustain itself if people take work and don't pay for it. It just can't.
So please, we're not saying this to be, like douches or something. We're trying to save the industry, and we're trying to make more of this stuff happen.
Yes, we are.
Okay, a little anti-piracy rant out of the way. Did you watch the? This is still Mike Russell. Did you watch the Kamen Rider Dragon Knight series when you did a voice for the game, or I don't know what this is?
I did not. In fact, I did not. When I did that voice for the game, I did not even know what that was. They had to explain it to me what it was.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even know what that is, to be quite honest.
Neither do I.
I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of the shows that we work on, we don't know about. Like I said earlier on in the interview, a lot of the things that we work on, we don't know about them until we walk into the studio, and the director kind of briefs us, and fills us in.
His next question is, what is your favorite Sonic the Hedgehog game? If you have one.
Well,
weird question.
That is a weird question.
To be honest with you, to be entirely honest, the one that I was in. Because I don't know anything about any Sonic games until I did the one that I was in, where I played 1-2-3 Omega, the robot, and I had a great time, and so that's my favorite.
And I'm going to guess and say that was Sonic Adventure. I honestly don't know.
I think so. So no, Sonic Colors.
Sonic Colors. Okay. Oh, that's the recent. Oh, that came out recently. Okay, that was last year.
Yeah.
Okay, and his last question, and I just thought of another one, so this won't be the last question. But his last question is, what advice would you give Christian parents when choosing an anime to watch?
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a very good question. Well, I would say, the obvious answer is to do a little research on it on the internet. I would say very simply, the internet is a great resource for looking stuff up and finding out, what's the subject matter, what kind of stuff goes on in the show, and as a Christian parent, get an idea of what the show's about, and try to make the best decisions you can on stuff like that. I myself have gotten involved in shows that I was like, oh man, I didn't realize that this was going to happen, or I didn't know that this was that kind of show. You know what I mean? And I kind of regretted being a part of it. But you live and learn. You make mistakes and you do the best you can and you move on.
And I feel like that goes for any parent. My 2 cents I'll throw in real quick. The anime companies, they're not trying to hide anything. They usually have a rating system on the back as well. So you can usually judge pretty easily by those. What they usually do is they put the TV ratings on the back. So if you follow those, you should be okay. Like if it's TVY7, you should be good to go.
Yep.
And my final question, since I brought up Macross earlier, you recorded with, I think for the first time ever, an actress who played not only the Japanese role, she also played the English role.
Mariajima.
What was it like? Because you did record a commentary with her. What was it like working with her? And how was it working with, I guess, a legend? Because that series is kind of legendary.
I love Mari. We've done a couple of conventions together, and she's a singer-songwriter. So we really hit it off. And when I found out that she was going to be coming to ADV to record the English version of Macross, I was super excited about that. We had a great time.
And I find it kind of funny though that she gets brought. Well, she wasn't brought over to America. She was living here. She comes to America. She ends up recording Macross again, and you go to Japan. You record something for them. I feel like there's a bit of an eerie parallel there, but
that is kind of cool. Yeah,
I think that's really cool.
Except for the fact that I wasn't speaking Japanese when I was over there. I know about 5 phrases in Japanese, and that's about it.
That's all you need. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for sparing so much of your time. Before we go, anything you want to plug, like your music and your website?
Yeah. Let me just say thank you guys for having me. Absolutely.
No problem.
I enjoyed it, and You guys, anybody out there that's interested in my music, I have a lot of great variety of different CDs, instrumental, up tempo, slow ballads, funny, anime related, a mixture of everything, even a Christmas CD, and it is that time of year. So I would encourage people, anybody interested in getting some music, you can get my CDs on iTunes. You can also buy karaoke tracks to some of my songs on iTunes. A lot of kids write me and say, I'd love to sing one of your songs for my church, or I'd love to sing one of your songs in my school talent show, or I'd love to sing one of your songs for this or that. So I've got karaoke tracks as well. And then, of course, I always have to give a shout out to my awesome, beloved fan club, the Risen Bull Rangers. We now have right at 17,000 members worldwide. So I want to invite anyone out there that's not a Ranger to come into the light and join us. It's free to join, and you will instantaneously find yourself with a family of 17,000 people around the world who love all the things that you love, and you'll make great friends and have a wonderful time. I am on Twitter as well, so follow me on Twitter at Vic Mignogna, and I'll be doing a lot of conventions again next year. So please come on out and see me and say hello. There is nothing I love more than meeting the fans face to face and making connection with people that enjoy the work we do. So please know how much I love and appreciate all of the fans out there for their support and enthusiasm and encouragement of my work.
Well, I think that's it, everybody. Thank you so much, Vic, and we'll be right back in 1 second.
Thanks, guys.
And we're back.
Yes, we are.
Yep, that was an interview.
That was an interview. And it will be our actual
Darrell was
last
very quiet for her. I'm surprised.
Yes. Starstruck.
You mean me?
No, I meant Darrell.
Oh, okay.
I meant Darrell being very quiet.
I couldn't really think of any questions to ask him. It was kind of like,
It was kind of the Jose show again.
Yeah. you asked very good questions, sir, so I just let you take it when we do these.
No, that e-manga thing has me peaked. I'm just like, what? How do I find out about this? So
yeah, by the way,
right
Joe,
after
we'll
we
explain that to you.
Yeah, right after we stop recording, I'm definitely going to go look that shit up.
Yeah, we'll explain it to you after we're done recording.
Sweet.
Yeah, so that was a good interview. That's actually our last interview for the year.
Yes. No more interviews. We're done getting guests.
No. But anyways, I will be looking into getting guests on the time that we don't have guests, because it does take me a little bit sometimes to find some of these people. Look at how it took me to get Steve. Jesus.
Plus, we,
persistence works.
Yeah, persistence works, but you guys have no idea how hard it is to get guests on the show.
No, they don't know how hard I work to get these guests.
No, everybody. It's not just you. It's Daniel. It's me, Darrell. Everybody works really hard to get guests on the show. It's so difficult, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of energy, and
working 50 hours a week.
On top of that, we all have jobs, and we're just like, oh.
Yeah, y'all hear about the stuff that I say on Twitter all the time. So yeah,
dude, it's exhausting to get guests on the show. It's not that the guests are difficult or anything like that. It's just timing and making sure that we keep in contact with these people. It takes a lot.
You know what? We kind of did lie about that. We may have a guest, not next week, but the week after. But it corresponds with our announcement. But yeah. That's another time.
Well, it's not. Well, if you're talking about who I think you're talking about, it's not really a guest.
It is a guest because they're. Never mind. Anyways, I'll
probably cut this part.
Jose, as Jose always says, you ain't seen nothing yet, people.
Yep.
Yes. So.
Yeah, I'm really ecstatic for the future of the show. We have end of year episodes coming. I haven't decided exactly what we're going to do for those, but we will be doing something, and we will be recording those early, too, so I can not...
Oh, I don't want to record those early.
I want to record those early.
No, you just want to have your Christmas off.
Yes, exactly. I want to have Christmas off.
You're our friggin' monkey, and you will work like we tell you to, Cratchit.
No, I won't.
Head samurai, get him.
Yes, I got to go ahead and get the damn sword now. See, every damn time I turn around, I got to do this.
No, but for real. Well, we'll talk about what we're doing, but I definitely have ideas for the last 2 episodes of the year. So, yeah.
I definitely think that we should, and this is just an idea I'm going to put out there. I think we should do like our top 5 moments since we started the podcast.
Yeah,
that was literally one of my
That's kind of
ideas.
interesting, though.
That's very interesting. I already know what my number 1 is. I already know.
Well, just to kind of add into that, like, to tell some people, like, I almost turned Paul down actually doing the show full time, but I'm so glad that I didn't.
We'll definitely discuss and get back to you as to what it is, and we will be sure to send you. We'll be sure to let you know if you can submit stuff for the last couple of episodes, because I want it to be pretty big and make sure that you guys have some kind of place in the show. Because we might. You know what? We might do the call-in show. We might finally get around to that.
And we might do a live show, too, as well.
Yes. Well, if we do call-in show, it's going to be live.
We're going to be doing contests and giveaways.
Yes. And we might actually...
Oh, right, the contest. That is right.
Yes, we have a Viz giveaway, don't we?
Yes, we're not...
Yes, we do.
We need more entries, though, because I don't...
Yes.
We need way more.
Yes.
And I will be doing a personal giveaway soon.
Can you describe the Viz prize pack, that, by the way?
I can do better. I have a picture up on Facebook.com/Toonami Faithful Podcast.
And okay, there's a. Could you tell people what it is? Because I don't know what it is.
Basically, it's a T-shirt. Oh God, what is the movie? Darrell, did I tell you what that movie was? It's a Naruto movie. I can't think of what the name of it is though. It's not in front of me. Sorry.
Bonds.
I'm looking at it right now, and I think it's
That's Bonds.
Yeah, it looks like Bonds.
Oh, cool! I called it.
Oh no, wait, no! It's the Wheel of Fire.
Oh, Wheel of Fire. Oh, that's the brand new one.
Yeah, bitch, you gonna get that to me.
That is brand new, guys. That is just come. I don't even. Is it out yet? Even?
I don't
think so.
It might not even been out yet, guys. So
well, anyway, so there's that. There's the
you got a couple of months of
Neon Alley bag. There's a T-shirt, Neon Alley T-shirt, Neon Alley bag, Neon Alley lanyard with I think it's a magazine subscription on it.
It looks like Naruto.
I'm trying to think what else there was.
Do you also? They also get a trial of Neon Alley itself, right?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, never mind. I didn't say anything.
You damn right.
I did not promise anything. I swear.
No, remember, because we have to do that thing in order for them to get the free thing. Okay. So
cool.
But
like to our viewers and everybody that listens to us, y'all really need to get a little bit more proactive in like these giveaways. Because look we want to give it to you, but hey, we can't like give it to you unless we get enough participation too, though.
So,
and by the way,
all you got to do to enter the contest is send an email to me that says somewhere in the subject Neon Alley contest. Or actually,
wait a minute. Let's scratch that. Daniel actually had a good idea where we could put a post up on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Toonami Faithful Podcast. And what we could do is there's actually an app online where we can randomly select somebody that puts a comment on there. And we could do it that way.
We've already got email. The thing is, we've already got email submissions, so we might.
True, but you said you didn't have that many, though.
I didn't have that many, but I don't want to disqualify these people.
Both then?
No, that's even worse to keep track. Like it's one or the other. And so for now, for this contest, please email jeargumedo@toonamifaithful.com. We'll do the other thing next time.
Fine, be that way.
We'll do it for the next contest. We'll do it for Darrell's giveaway. I don't know what it is.
Probably giveaway is Thundercock.
No, my girlfriend got trademark on that now.
Oh, okay.
Women sleep with you?
Yeah, women sleep with me too. I thought you knew that. You're not the only one, Jose.
Anyways,
I was the only girl in your life, man.
So, oh my god. So again, for you guys out there, we have a big announcement next week. I can't stress how big this announcement is, and you guys are probably won't like it.
Again, we're overhyping it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So December 10th, I want you to tune in. Okay, this is huge. You definitely want to hear this announcement. It's going to change the Toonami Faithful podcast and just make us huge.
Also, I'm going to apologize right now because it's Tuesday, and I have no idea when I'm going to edit this podcast. So this podcast might be coming out on Wednesday. Apologies.
Yeah, we're gonna murder you later. But anyways,
I have no idea when I'm going to get to this because I really need to. We really need to wrap this up here.
yeah. And lastly, again, if you want to see the preview of what we have coming up for our geeky reviews and other things that we're doing with our company Geeky, you can go to twitter.com/Geeky Inc., which is GeeKeinc. We've posted up the video there. Once we do the first review, which will be Neon Alley, we will post it there as well. You can also find it on Facebook for those of you that don't like Twitter. Like Darrell said he didn't like Twitter.
You, Paul.
God, we got you so addicted. But anyways, facebook.com/Geeky Inc. GeeKeinc. We'll be posting the preview video up there. Thanks again to Christian for doing that. And yeah, so let's get
Darrell, where can they find you? Quick.
Yes.
You can find me at ukami_samurai7 at twitter.com.
Follow me at JeArgumedo. You can find me on the forums. I'm there a lot now and in the chat. And you can email me. And please remember to email your contest submissions for that Neon Alley prize pack. It's pretty sweet. At JeArgumedo at ToonamiFaithful.com. And one last thing, please subscribe to us on iTunes. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. It's been a while, so we thought we'd remind you.
Oh, and by the way, quickly, we are trying to get a Android app. Which one is it, Jose?
Double Twist.
We're trying to get.
They're very unresponsive.
Yeah, they're not responding to us, but once we do, we'll let you know. Okay. And as always, you can find me on my Twitter account, my personal Twitter, at Paul Pescrillo. Last name is spelled Pescrillo. You can also find me on Toonami News and on Twitter. And quickly, thank you to all the followers that I've gotten that are new. I'm almost to 2,000, thank God. And so yeah, just keep it coming. Tell people about Toonami News. Have them subscribe because I will always post news there, including news on Toonami Faithful. And to find me on the website, my username is TF Administrator.
Oh, TF by the way, I also posted my first article on AS Central today. That was pretty cool.
Well, did you know?
I did. I feel special.
What was it about?
It was about Dexter's Rude Removal, the lost episode of Dexter. And I noticed AS Central hadn't put it up yet, so I was like, oh, I have the bump. I'll put it up for these guys. So, again, the partnership with AS Central is working out swimmingly. No pun intended.
Damn, I was about to say that. Excellent.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, that's the podcast. Peace, and we're out.
We be out. Later, bitches.
Deuces!
Fullmetal Alchemist premieres November 6th at midnight.